Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Mic check. Mic check. There's one topic I'd like to know more about.
Well, what's that topic about?
The topic is border disputes.
Border disputes.
Border disputes are disagreements between countries about where the boundary line between them should be drawn. There are 4 types.
Definitional,
Locational,
operational, and
and allocational. Definitional border disputes focus upon the legal language of the boundary agreement. So basically, 2 states argue over the actual interpretation of the boundary agreement, which is basically the legal terms and implications set forth.
The date is July 16, 2017, and I'm currently in Chile gathering information about the conflict between Chile and Argentina. There's a dispute because they've got a treaty saying that the 2 countries' boundary lines run along the highest peaks of the Andes. But now the interpretation of that treaty is being conflicted because they found gas and oil deposits in those areas, which just so happen to be around this area. Both Chile and Argentina are now laying claim there. They've taken the issue to the United Nations, but it's still affecting my host family's living conditions.
Locational border disputes focus on the disagreement of the delimitation and demarcation of a boundary or border.
delimitation is when a boundary is outlined or drawn through an official document, such as a treaty. And then demarcation is when the boundary is outlined through physical means, such as a wall or fences.
Alright, today is the 31st of October and I'm staying with a family located here in Mississippi. A few people say that the state boundary lines run along the Mississippi River, according to an old treaty. But because the river is changing, that boundary is going to be conflicted sooner or later.
Demarcation is like China building the road through Bhutan, and also its construction of artificial islands in the South China Sea to enforce its sea border.
There's a dramatic conflict here in Asia. China and India have been fighting over their borders for a very long time, and these conflicts affect the people that live in these regions. China and India fight over a strip of land near Bhutan. China tried to build a road there last year, but India and Bhutan forced them to stop.
Operational border disputes focus on the administration of the boundary and how the boundary should function.
The United States and Mexico disagree over undocumented immigration across their borders. The treatment process, Border Patrol, and Customs gives the U.S. control over its border, but then conflicts can occur between Mexico and the U.S. Even though both countries disagree over the usage, function, and control of the boundary, they agree upon where the boundary is.
Allocational border disputes involve conflicting claims over the natural resources that lie near or between a boundary.
It gets complicated because the border is invisible, and the purpose of government is to provide for its own citizens. Therefore, when a vital natural resource is discovered that crosses a boundary, governments fight over the area and its resources.
I just interviewed a few people here in Kuwait, and I can certainly see that the country itself is very rich. When you have a country that's making boatloads of money off of oil, other countries are definitely going to become jealous. Countries like Iraq and Iran. At this moment, there are dozens of border disputes occurring around the world that hundreds of thousands of people are completely unaware of, sometimes due to the lack of publicity and attention-seeking broadcasts. The clip you are currently watching is a compilation of short clips of the results of boundary conflicts. I collaborated with Apache Clips to show you some of these war-torn areas. They sent me the clips of the attack brought on by rebel nations. Hundreds of innocent individuals are being affected every day from conflicts like these. This one shot was from the border between Chile and Argentina. I was actually sent on a helicopter to witness the horrifying violence between these 2 countries. And I was appalled to see the extensive strife over oil and gas deposits, clearly depicting how vital and significant these resources were to both countries' economies. today, oh my god, no, that's not how it starts.
The
And the purpose of a government is to provide for its... My eyebrows look so bad. The purpose of a government is to provide for its own people. It gets complicated because a border is invisible and the purpose of a government is to provide for its own people. So, vital matter.
3. Demarcation is like China building the road, and also how it builds artificial islands. Carson, what are you doing?
United Nations, but my host families, I was on the last line. They've taken the issue to the United Nations, but my host families, I was on the last line.
Say that one more time. Alhamdulillah, check in with me and do your job. Berg is the main, then Baller did the chain. Torno for the watch, Presley playing Jane. Lamborghini chain, rest in peace to my superior. Her maze link Vida village in Liberia. TMZ taking pictures causing mad hysteria. Mama see on BET and started tearing up. I'ma started killing the Nigels. How do you get that tripe? I attended Harlem picnics where you risk your life. I'm waiting for him to set up the camera.